You're 20, sitting in a dented Crown Vic at the back of a community college parking lot, eating a gas station sandwich before a written test. 2 decades later, you sign a contract for $450,000 a year to run a department of nearly 9,000 officers. Between those two moments sits a workforce of 473,000 sworn local cops inside 11,000 departments, and a paper trail that follows you for every shift in between. This is every level of a police career in America and what it actually costs to climb. If you like breakdowns of how careers actually progress, like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Level 1. The Academy Recruit. You're 20, and the academy you walked into runs 931 hours before they let you near a real call. The base pay is $91,224 on paper, but you don't see it yet. Right now you see boot polish, a wall clock, and a sign on the cinder block that reads professionalism through training. The cadre call you recruit. They don't use your name. The first thing in your hands is a notebook, a duty belt with no gun in it, and a paper copy of the academy mission statement. The instructor reads the 5 competencies allowed: professional reasoning, human relations, problem solving, job knowledge, physical skills, and tells you all 5 will be graded by Friday. Day 1, you fold a hospital corner wrong on your bunk inspection, and you do push-ups in the hallway while the rest of the class watches. You stop talking unless asked. Range block: Glock 17 Gen 5, 6.360 RDS holster, Ear Pro, Eye Pro. You draw, you index, you reholster. You draw again. The instructor stands behind your right shoulder and corrects your finger position with a tap. Defensive tactics block: rubber mats, an ASP Talon baton, handcuffs that bite the wrong way until you learn the geometry. You write a mock report on a domestic call. The cadre hands it back at 0600 the next morning, with a red line through the 3rd paragraph. You rewrite it. You rewrite it again. By week 6, you stop saving the bad drafts. The radio block is 41 hours of EVOC and call language. You key the mic and forget the unit number, and the proctor, the same one who'll proctor your final scenario, writes it down. The final scenario is a graded contact. Observe, speak, decide, document. You handle it clean enough. Graduation is a handshake and a transfer order. The next morning you report to a field training officer who has read your file before you walk in. Level 2. The Probationary Officer. You're on field training for 1 year, and the full probationary clock runs 18 months before Officer 1 automatically rolls to Officer 2. The proctor from the academy is gone. The FTO is the foil now. He signs the daily observation report at the end of every shift. He doesn't smile. He doesn't yell. He writes. The first stop is yours. You pull a sedan over on a busted tail lamp, you call it in, you walk up, and the FTO clears his throat behind you because you walked up on the driver's side blind spot with your weak hand on your weapon. You step back, you restart. The radio is a Motorola APX Next. The camera on your chest is an Axon Body 4. The gun is the same Glock from the academy. The first domestic call comes on a Tuesday at 2 a.m. 2 parties, 1 kitchen, a baby in the next room. You and the FTO separate them. Him with the husband on the porch, you with the wife in the hallway. She has a bruise the size of a fist under her jaw. You document it on camera before you ask her how it got there. The FTO watches your hands, he watches your tone, he says nothing. You write the report at the end of shift, and he hands it back with 3 corrections: chronology, evidence chain, and 1 missed quote. You fix it. You file it. 2 weeks in, you forget to activate the body cam early on a traffic stop. The FTO catches it on review. He doesn't write you up yet. He tells you to fix it. The next stop, you tap the camera on before you open your door. By month 4, the FTO lets you talk first on a disturbance call. He doesn't correct you in front of the woman whose porch you're standing on. The correction comes in the car after. You eat lunch standing at the trunk because there's a supplement to write before clear. You stop calling your mother back during shift. The DOR at month 12 says competent, independent, ready. You sign it, he signs it, the patrol sergeant signs it. You're a solo unit on Monday. Level 3. The Solo Patrol Officer. Pay band $91,224 to $124,236. You have a beat, a basic car, and the radio is yours. The FTO is somewhere else now, training the next rookie. You see him at roll call, and he nods. That's the relationship now. Equal. The shift starts at 14:30. You check the cruiser. Fluids, lights, shotgun, kit bag with gloves, evidence tape, a Streamlight Stinger DSLE-DHL, Narcan nasal spray at 4 milligrams a dose, and a Taser 10 on the offside. You sign for the keys. You log into the MDT. You clear from the lot at 14:47. The first 6 calls are ordinary: a barking dog, a repo dispute, a theft report at a gas station where the owner wants the report number for insurance and not much else. Then the radio gives you a possible overdose at a Motel 6 off the interstate. You're 3 minutes out. The dispatcher repeats the address. You arrive before EMS. The door is open. There's a man on the bathroom floor. Lips blue, a needle on the tile. You pull gloves. You check breathing. You don't get any. You unwrap a Narcan dose, and you deliver it into the right nostril. You wait. He doesn't come back. You give the second dose. You start chest compressions because the academy taught you to. EMS comes through the door at minute 6. They take over. You step out into the parking lot and your camera is still rolling. He doesn't make it. The detective who shows up to document the death scene asks you 3 questions you can't fully answer. What time you arrived? What time you administered? What time EMS made contact? You wrote 2 of them down. You forgot the third. The detective writes it in his own notes and tells you to do better next time. You write the supplement at end of shift. You read it twice. You file it. The lieutenant calls you in the next morning. He doesn't punish you. He tells you the family is going to read this report, and a defense attorney might read it, and a federal grant auditor might read it. Then he tells you to ride out the rest of the week. You ride. The next overdose call is 2 weeks later. You arrive in 4 minutes. You document the time before you pull the dose. You note the dose. You note the response. The man wakes up swearing and tries to fight you. You hold him until EMS arrives. The report is clean. The lieutenant signs off without a callback. You stop flinching at the radio. By month 8 on solo, you're the unit dispatch sends to the messy ones because you write clean and you don't escalate. The patrol sergeant, the one who signs the incident log every shift, pulls you aside after a domestic and says he wants you on the next FTO list. You file the application. The exam for detective and sergeant is 4 years out, but the eligibility window is opening and you're already inside it. Level 4. The detective. The exam comes after 4 years of service. Salary band $125,384 to $173,721. You testify, you investigate, you build files. The squad room smells like printer toner and yesterday's coffee. Your desk is a case jacket. A Nikon D7500 and a Searchy kit on the floor, a Celebrite UFED on the shared bench, and SIRCHMARK markers in a drawer. The squad sergeant assigns you a robbery follow-up your first week. The patrol officers caught the call, took the statements, swabbed the register. You inherit the paperwork. You read it twice. You find a gap in the chronology between the suspect leaving and the witness calling 911, 11 minutes nobody accounted for. You pull the gas station camera across the street. You find the suspect's car at minute 4. You write the warrant for the plate. You knock on a door. You knock again. The mother answers. The suspect is in the back bedroom. He comes out in his socks, and you handcuff him on his own kitchen floor without raising your voice. The sergeant signs the package that afternoon. The DA charges Tuesday. The harder case comes in month 9. An officer-involved shooting. You're not the shooter. You're the assigned investigator. You arrive at the scene at 0340. The homicide lieutenant is already there. He gives you the scene briefing. You assign roles. You conduct the public safety briefing with the involved officer, narrow, recorded, limited to injuries and evidence accounting, per peace officer's Bill of Rights. The officer's representative sits in. You don't ask about merits. You ask about location, weapon, and rounds fired. You wait for the lab. The voluntary walkthrough happens at 09:15 with the officer and the representative present. The case file you build is 340 pages by the time it goes to the district attorney. The DA reads it. The DA charges no one. The shooting was within policy. The family files a civil suit anyway. Your file holds up in deposition because the chronology is clean and the camera timestamps match the radio log. You don't open the case again after the deposition. You move to the next one. The patrol sergeant from level 3, the one who pushed you for FTO, is now a lieutenant on the day watch. He calls you about a series. You take it. Level 5. The watch commander. You make lieutenant after 2 years on the detective bench, then captain after 2 more. Lieutenant pay $149,605 to $175,872. You command a watch, 3 sergeants, 24 officers, 11 cars, 1 geographic area. The job is no longer the call. The job is the deployment, the log, and the explanation. You read the overnight log before lineup. You see a pattern in 3 commercial burglaries on the same retail strip. Same hour, same MO. You move 2 units off the freeway corridor and onto the strip for the next 4 nights. The 3rd night, the unit on the strip catches the suspect on a fence climb. The arrest is clean. The detective bench takes the case. You don't go to the scene, you don't need to. You read the supplement at 0900. You sign it. You stop checking the radio at home. The COMPSTAT meeting is Thursday at 0800. You walk in with a 1-pager. The burglaries, the deployment, the arrest, the next 4 nights. The deputy chief asks 1 question. You answer it. The captain in the next chair asks none. That's how you know the deployment was right. A pursuit goes wrong on a Sunday afternoon. A suspect runs a red. T-bones a civilian sedan. 2 injuries, 1 critical. You're the watch commander on duty. You establish command, designate the command post in a parking lot, and approve the incident action plan within 9 minutes of the collision. You assign a public information officer. You assign a safety officer. You request mutual aid from the next jurisdiction for traffic control. You brief the captain by phone before the news truck arrives. The civilian survives. The pursuit policy review takes 3 months. The package, the radio traffic, the unit positions, the supervisor decisions, the timestamps, holds up. Your name is on every page. You make captain the next cycle. The recurring foil from your patrol days, the one who corrected your hands on that first stop, retired last year. He came to your captain swearing in. He shook your hand and walked out before the cake. You wake before the alarm now. The truck is yours. Level 6. The Chief. The Board of Police Commissioners is the head of the department in governance terms. The chief is the chief executive officer under the board. You're the 59th to hold the office in the city. The compensation memorandum from the commission lists a range of $408,475 to $507,509. The council approves your base at $450,000. You take command of nearly 9,000 officers. The chair of the commission swears you in on a Wednesday morning. Your former lieutenant, the one whose pursuit package held up, is in the 3rd row. The first day is not a call. It is a budget book, a press conference, a meeting with the union president, and a meeting with the city manager. The 2nd day is a critical incident, an officer-involved shooting at 0420. You're briefed by 0450 from your kitchen. You confirm command structure. You approve the public posture. The PIO releases a statement at 0900 with the facts you have, and none you don't. The mayor's office calls, you answer. The community board calls, you attend. You spend more time with budget binders than with patrol officers. You sign a policy revision on body camera activation that closes the gap that nearly cost you on level 3. You appoint a deputy chief who used to be a sergeant on your watch. You testify before the city council on retention, on wellness, on staffing. The data on the screen behind you says 11% of first-line supervisors and local departments are female. You point at it. You say it should be higher. You commit to a number. The council nods. You stop reading the comments online. The work is the same shape as the watch commander job. Read, decide, explain, sign. But the room is bigger and the microphone is on. The chair of the commission asks you, over coffee in your 2nd year, whether you'd serve a 2nd term. You say yes. You sign the memorandum that afternoon. The recruit who stood inspection in a cinderblock hallway at 20 is signing the policy that will define how the next recruit's body camera activates on a traffic stop. The academy mission statement that hung on the wall above your bunk. Professional reasoning, human relations, problem solving, job knowledge, physical skills, sits on the wall behind your desk now, framed, signed by the academy class president the year you graduated. Same 5 words, different weight. The FTO who corrected your hand position on that first stop retired before your appointment. The lieutenant who held the pursuit line on a Sunday afternoon is the deputy chief who briefs you at 0700. The sergeant who pushed you toward the detective exam runs the academy now. You signed his promotion. The journey is generative. The ladder keeps climbing without you on the bottom rung. There were Sundays you didn't make it home for. There were funerals you stood at in dress blues for officers younger than you. That's the cost, and you carry it without arguing with it. The view from this office is not more tactical than patrol. It is more written. The decisions are slower. The consequences are wider. The bravery the public imagines belongs to the rookie standing in a kitchen at 2 a.m., watching a stranger's hands. The work up here is signing the room into history. You wake before the alarm. You read the overnight summary. You walk into the briefing. The deputy chief slides a folder across the table. A recruit class graduating Friday, 47 names. You sign the cover sheet. You hand it back. The 20-year-old at the back of that classroom, eating a sandwich in a dented sedan, is somebody's name on the list. You'll shake their hand on Friday. They won't know your face yet. That's the job.